Recollection number 13. We have a lot to go over today. I want to thank you all for watching. We are just growing in subs since the spoiler video. 287 subs. We want to push to 300, so if you can, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You're going to see a little bit of difference. Well, first of all, introduce myself. I'm AJ. This is James.
Hi.
We are Adventure Co Gaming, or part of, and we play card games.
Occasionally.
A lot.
Yes, a lot.
One of us owns a card shop. One of us plays card games much more. One of us is trying to get the other person to play more card games.
The other person is losing their strength on resisting, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
So yeah, we have a lot to go over. We got some a little bit of Grand Archive news. Flesh and Blood's been going crazy with spoilers recently with the new Dusk Till Dawn set, and finally we have our first Shadowverse Evolve starter deck tournament tonight because that game just came out yesterday.
Yeah, it came out yesterday. After I think it was like 2 years of them or a year and a half, I think, of them announcing it, and
yeah, it's been out in Japan for over a year, and then I think probably like over 6 months ago, I think is when they announced the English version, and we've just been kind of waiting. And yeah, it's really exciting. I'm super happy that we get it's like a renaissance of TCGs.
Yeah.
Like no matter what TCG you actually want to like kind of play, I think you have like an option no matter what.
Well, yeah, but I also think like we've had customers who come in and they're like, I'll buy a Lord of the Rings collector pack, and we're like, well, God have mercy on your soul. And then after they buy that, they're like, what's that? And we're like, oh, this is Shadowverse. It's a new anime game that had a digital game, and they're like, wow, it looks really cool. How much is that? And then they're like, okay, I'll play that. And they're like, what's that? And we're like, oh, that desk mat or table mat is from Grand Archive. And they're like, what's that? And I'm like, and no, there's just tons of TCGs coming out.
Yeah, we could talk about that too, maybe a little bit too. Just the influx of like Kickstarter games and other games, like even from big companies like Shadowverse, which is from Psy Games and Bushiroad. Like, how do you navigate that in your store, like with your management team and everyone? Like, how you like figure out like what games to carry? I know I'm kind of a portion of that.
Yeah. Well, we do have a lot of different characters. I mean, we've got Matt, myself, Evan, Grantley, and we all have our own favorite card games or flavor. But we have to be realistic. We don't have infinite space in the store. You have to kind of consider there's only 7 days of the week, and like you have to
opportunity cost and everything. So
there's a lot of that. But the crazy thing is there are games like recently. I think Sorcery just blew up again. We didn't really hear anything about it for a while, and then all of a sudden people came to the store and they're like, "How much is that Sorcery box?" And we're like, we type in and they're like $500, and they're like, "Yeah, I'll take one," and we're like,
all right,
okay. It seems like...
Which, like, as a store, you probably don't feel bad when they spike that hard when it's, like, Kickstarter products, right? Or anything like first edition or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, truly collector boxes where it's, like... I guess, to me, like, as a player, I always feel kind of bad when, like, a store, like, sells boxes for, like, over MSRP. But, again, that's, like, when I'm talking about, like, a normal draft box or something like that. Or something that's, like, in print now. Whereas, like, a Kickstarter Sorcery box that can go for $1 million, like, who cares?
And I think it's also because it's a product that you know how much you're going to get, but there's always delays. There's a lot of like variables in how it's going to be, and you don't know what's going to happen in the next few weeks. I mean, you have stuff like Shadowverse. We were selling tons of boxes yesterday.
I think you guys sold out of your your online allotment.
Yeah, the online allotment. There are certain starters. I forgot which. There were two of them, which I think were completely out of.
The dragon and the Matt was telling me. So I think it's the dragon deck and the sword deck were the two big ones. Yeah.
I think if you're new to Shadowverse or you just like the typical fantasy thing, those two easily kind of like
they look awesome.
Yeah.
Like every card in them looks really cool. Like, and it's like it's typical fantasy where like the sword deck is lots of knights and armored guys and whatever, and then the dragon deck is dragons, right? And like dragon waifus.
Really go wrong with that. But like when they sold out, we're not like, okay, now we're bumping them up $10. It's just like that kind of feels bad when a new player comes in. They're like, oh, it's more expensive because I was at work yesterday, and so we're not doing that. The biggest example of that though would be like Lord of the Rings collector packs. Starts out at like $320, it goes to $500, it goes to $400, and the problem with that is if we don't adapt the price, someone will come in and go,
just wipe you out,
I'll take them all. And we're just like...
And then they make the profit, right? Which, I mean, I've heard different stores do different things. I wouldn't and for a collector box, like, who cares? Like, I kind of like don't even care. You know what I mean? Like, if it was like the draft packs and like the set just comes out and it's very hyped and people want it to play and they want to play in your store, which will lead to hopefully more revenue that way. Like then buying snacks, other packs. Card game players have really bad impulse control, as we've seen, so they'll buy like other stuff while they're there. But it's like what you're worried about, I'm guessing, is like the people who buy collector packs, they buy them and leave, right? Like typically, like
if they're speculating or just doing like an insane buy, they will not stick around. The other problem is that we're so heavily allocated that one person picks them all up, you disappoint 30, 40 people that come in the store. They go, do you have it? No. And then they walk out mad that they had to drive over. And I mean, they could call, but it's kind of like not the point. I don't know. And none of it's like exact science. It's a lot of like trying stuff out. I mean, when you first, I forgot how long ago it was, but when you came to the store and you're like, there's this game called Shadowverse, we're all like, oh my god, another anime game. Let me guess, waifus and swords. And that was the initial thing, but what was it, Tabletop Simulator? We got some games in, and as soon as it's like, okay, the game is good, playable, and at least with this game, you can tell it has a future because if Japan, they already have like sets established.
That too, and it had a pretty decent sized digital backing, even in the West. Like a lot of people know what Shadowverse is. Like a lot of people do know.
Well, yeah, a good example of that was like normally over here I'd be like, oh, Shadowverse, like I hope people know what it is. And then you're like, here's a Japanese tournament with 2,000 people, and I sit up and I'm like, oh.
Now you have my attention. What is it? You had my curiosity, now you have my attention.
And there's a bunch of reports and pictures of it all, and there was a guy who wrote an article from, I think you shared with me, from Singapore, and he was just like, no, it's huge here. Everybody's really into it, and it's a good sign with all the different decks that are being played. It's not two decks that are just
right
elbow dropping everything.
It's funny because Dragon is kind of the menace that people, they're hyping up Dragon. Dragon was really popular up until like set 3, I think. I'm doing this off memory, but Dragon is kind of like the boogeyman of the format. But even then, a lot of people will tell you that it's not that it's like beats everything. It's not that it's like tier 0. It just has game into everything. But it's not like you have like 50/50s or better. You know what I mean? But it's not like the whole world bends to Dragon. You know what I mean? So, whereas other decks may have like, a really good matchup here and a really bad matchup there. So it's a little less consistent. But I'm really excited to play Rune. I think Rune is really exciting. All the cards look really cool for Rune. It's a bit more of a spell slinger, which I don't really play a lot in other games. I know I built one commander deck in my life, and it was red-blue spells. Like you pretty much like crackled with power the table for 40 times 3.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But that's the only time I really played a spell slinging deck. I mean, I played a little bit of Kano in Blitz in Flesh and Blood. But that's really where that like kind of ended.
Oh, we all know you played him. We've heard the story of legends.
I won a couple skirmishes on some Kano, but that was it's back in the day of 2021, so long ago.
The dark times.
The dark times. We were just coming back from the plague.
But yeah, no. Did you want to jump into?
Yeah, we can. Let's start with our namesake, I guess. We can start with some Grand Archive news. They've had a couple new spoilers, I think, but overall, I think the biggest news that we've gotten some new collector rares that we can show you. We'll pop those up on the screen. But the reason we have those is because we got our first kind of news about the Fractured Crown event packs. So, Fractured Crown event packs, if you don't know, event packs are packs that you can win at your local game store. There's pretty much almost every card game has them. It's some kind of promo that you receive. Either it's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Has OTS packs, Flesh and Blood has the Armory kit with the full art or extended art cards and the cold foils. So pretty much every game has some version of this where you can win stuff at locals, sponsored by the actual company. But event packs are a little different, where you get silver or gold based on your placement. They all contain a chance to have a rare or better. And you have a 75% chance of a foil in a gold pack and a 25% chance of foil in a silver pack. So this is kind of like a good injection of foil cards, because we know that foils in Grand Archive it's like 3 a box, so it's not as common as they are in other card games where it's like 1 per pack. So it's a good injection of foils, but there's a little bit changing with these event packs.
Yeah, so the first thing is with how it's being distributed. I know with Dawn of Ashes,
Yep.
It was just flat out like, depending on how many you bought, you got the packs. I forgot what the exact like numbers were, but I know a lot of stores like us, we ordered a ton, so we got a ton of event support. This one, I believe they were capping it at 3 kits. Yeah, for every 18 boxes, you'll get 1 event pack kit, which is 30, it's like 16 gold packs and 32 silver packs. It's something like that. I don't know if they mentioned it here. There's just
each kit comes with 48 silver and 16 gold.
Yeah.
Has enough packs to support 4 events of 8 players each, which, as we know, at the Haven, we were hitting much more than that for a while.
Well, so. Yeah. And, you know, they gave us, I think we had like 5 event kits, or it was like 5 or 6 event kits when we ordered that. This having a maximum of 3 is a big, I don't know. I kind of know why they're doing it. There is a lot of whispers in the dark about people selling sealed event kits, a lot of stuff like that. I don't know if they just want too many floating around, stuff like that. The issue is, with all the event kits we had, and because of how much we support the game, like we're almost running out. I think we have 1 more kit, and that was from last Thursday. We still have 2 months to go, and we're also out of boosters, so it's going to be the old store credit and a Coke for a while.
Store credit and a Coke. I never got a Coke.
Oh, you gotta ask. You have to read the fine print.
I want a Moon I want the apple soda.
The Josue special. We can get that for you. But no, like it. Now it does say further down, you can apply for more. Now that's cool that they do give an option for you to sort of fill out an application and kind of flex how well your store's doing.
I guess they want you to prove that like you're actually using them, right? So, and I think that's not the end of the world. I do hope that they are on top of it. I trust that Weebs has been pretty. For everything that Weebs has done, I think they've been transparent for a lot of it. Whether or not we agree with everything or everyone agrees with everything, that's not really the case, or not really what's important, but really what they've done is be really transparent. So I hope they kind of continue to do that, and I hope they stay transparent. I hope when you're applying for this kind of thing, you have a shot, right? Like, especially if you can prove that your store's running events, and you're also not like, hi, you got first place, here's your event kit.
Well, and that's the thing. It does come down a lot to trust, and a big thing is every store has a distribution rep, depending on who you're with, which will probably be like PhD for the most part with this game. And the problem is some people have reps that are like, they're on top of it, they'll follow up, they'll send the application and like fight for you. And there's other store reps that are like, this isn't Magic, so I'm not getting my cut or whatever. Yeah.
My what is it, bonus or commission?
Yeah, and that can get very dicey because there's tons of stores right now that are like, I bought product and I never got an event kit, and at this part of the first set, you're not getting one, unfortunately. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, I don't.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think they're all gone, right? I mean, I think they're not really there to be handed out. I mean, I don't know that for sure. Maybe someone from Weebs can comment or let us know.
Yeah.
But really, I don't know. But I'm excited they kind of changed up these event kits a little bit too, right? Doesn't it also have Dawn of Ashes cards in it? So each event pack will contain 1 uncommon card from Dawn of Ashes Alter Edition, as well as an additional card from either Dawn of Ashes Alter Edition or Fractured Crown, which I guess makes a lot of sense because they actually changed the foil. Maybe not, but
they said some of them have multiple cards now.
Yeah, so it's only a 50% chance for foil. I think I said 75 earlier. So 50% chance of foil in the gold packs, 25% chance of foil in the silver packs. And you may get some Dawn of Ashes cards, which makes complete sense, again, because Fractured Crown is like 90 cards. It's a very small set. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I did say on Discord, I was like, I didn't, like, why are they putting that in there? And Devin made a good point, and as you did right now, a lot of our players, they open their pack, and I know we harp on this.
We had a whole episode about it, but I'll be the first to say it. I hate event packs. I will just flat out say it. I don't like the way they're made. I don't like it. I would okay.
Well, the big thing was there was a time, it was like 2 weeks ago. Tim and Venny were opening up their packs. They each got 2 silver packs. They opened them, and I think they got 3 of the same rare, non-foil, and they were like,
wild.
We not only do we not need this, but like the, what do you call it, like stacking, when things are stacked or whatever. And I was just like, no, that could be just very bad luck. But they had fun through the entire event. They had fun with their decks,
and then it's like,
then they get their prize, which should be like a ton of fun, and they're like, that was terrible. And I'm like,
and I get that event packs, even if they had, I will die on the hill that once they showed us supporter packs and what those were, that is just what event packs should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Like, truly believe that. I get supporter packs are to raise money for their OP programs. I get they're a small company and they probably need to do that. I just look at, I just wish they would have done that through selling more product, as we've seen that they needed to. Like, there's a market for it. There's still, like, everyone's out of product. Like, they're just out of Dawn of Ashes. So it's not like the market couldn't absorb it. And I wish, when I saw supporter packs, I was like, just wouldn't that be so cool if that's what event packs were? And I get that. I also do get that eventually those would grow old, but hopefully the next set of event packs would come out, in due time, and like kind of filter those out. And that's just not what they were. We got event packs where not 99 times, because whatever, but like the actual percentages are on the pack, but I don't like them. I think it's so silly.
I know it has nothing to do with weebs because it's like a secondary market thing, but I do think it's hilarious that we had people, it's slowing down now, but we had people, they'd make a post and they're like, I have 36 gold packs and this and this. Oh, no, I won them all last week. And I'm no, I don't think so. I don't think you did a tour of California getting first place at every event, but the prices are plummeting. Originally, it was like 2 silver packs, $80. Now it's like...
Well, it's just your chance of opening anything of value is so low.
Right.
I mean, yes, you can open like even like a SR foil, but those we've seen come down a little bit. I mean, just because... I mean, that's every card game, right? It's going to come out, it's going to be a spike, and then it's going to like go like this until like another set comes out, makes another card good that wasn't good, and then you see that card trickle up.
And we already have a reprint announced, or a second wave, I should say, coming in August.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to come out kind of almost with Fractured Crown, so which makes sense, as Fractured Crown is an expansion of Dawn of Ashes. So yeah, I mean, I think Grand Archive is a great game. I think they've done a lot of good things. I wish they would do something to shake up what is the local prize, because I think that's like kind of the driver of your game. So like what brings people out to play it like week after week.
Yeah, and I'm hoping they start, like, a lot of times they have unique promos, like I think it was Anime Expo or whatever was going on very recently. They're like, you can pick up a unique promo just from coming to this event, and I'm like, it's a very specific, like, I wish those cards would also make their way into like stuff like this.
Something like that, right? That's why I just keep, as soon I'll whatever. As soon as I saw supporter pack, I just said,
that's
why isn't that event pack?
And I will say, from the CSRs that they show, all 3 of these look fantastic.
Yeah, we have Uther, Gawain, and Parsonet.
I don't know if it's Parsonet or
yeah.
No, they all look great.
Uther doesn't look like the Uther I know.
It's Uther in his prime.
He's not holding the book anymore.
No. But I was talking to Devin about it. He is like in the same exact pose that Arthur is in, and I think Uther is his father. Like, they're standing the same exact way. It's just like he's blue instead of red. But if you were to like put the cards next to each other,
you said Arthas.
Did I say Arthas?
You did.
Uther and Arthur.
Arthur, you definitely said Arthas when you said Arthur.
Did I? Oh, okay.
I think you did. Oh. I heard Arthas. Maybe I just wanted to hear.
Maybe
Arthas.
It should be Arthas. Yeah. But
it's Arthur.
Yeah, or is it young Arthur? Or I don't know what I should know. Yeah, but either way, they just look very similar. But those are coming, I think, with the launch. I don't know if they're coming like earlier in August, or I would imagine these event pack kits are coming at the start of Fractured Crown.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, I think that's all we have for Grand Archive. I mean.
Yeah, pretty much. Other than that, locals have been kind of the same. It's been a lot of the rain. Some of the
It's
Xanders,
even more so.
Yeah, a lot of the Xanders
like,
who are really trying to make it work have kind of been like,
just give
all
up.
right,
Yeah.
I'll can't beat them, join them.
I think at the last locals I heard we had 8 people or something like that, and it was 7
Yeah.
7 Lorraine and 1 Rye. So,
Yeah, and I think it was 5 wind and 2 fire because Mr. Mendoza gave wind a try, and he's like, no, I want to win in like 5 minutes. So he is back on fire.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where I think they need to kind of figure out. I don't know if it's a player issue or like what, but I don't know. I think we need to have cards that shake up the meta a little bit more often. I think this was a really long time in between sets, and so it's kind of been solved, at least locally. I don't think anytime someone brings anything off meta, it just gets wrecked by every Lorraine player. Like, I don't know, could be a skill issue, could be a deck building issue, but I think we've just kind of proven that. And you look at tournament results too, it's just Lorraine's all the way down.
I think
some rise. So,
yeah, I was gonna say Eruption occasionally catches people off guard, but like, hate saying it. It is what it is. It's gonna probably be like that for the next 2 months unless someone discovers something like insane or.
Apparently, there's this mystical Sylvie deck that just wrecks house on like Lorraine.
All right. Oh yeah, I think I did hear that on Discord, but like, we kind of need that to be discovered.
I think they should just post it,
and everyone just runs wild. It's like squirrels, get them.
Yeah, I think like maybe like right before like Fractured Crown, they're like, "This is the deck you guys missed, idiots."
For everyone who thought they were good. Yeah. All right, did you want to move to...
Yeah, we can move to... so you haven't talked about Flesh and Blood in quite a while, but I kind of just thought it would be funny if we talked about Flesh and Blood for just a minute.
Sure.
This channel does have a Flesh and Blood specific podcast hosted by myself and Ryan of also Team Adventure Co. But that doesn't mean we can't touch on it a little bit here. So let me give you the positives first, because I just want to let you go off in a minute. So first of all, I think the art on every card, including the Warrior cards, has been phenomenal. I think the Illusionist cards in particular, especially the Figments, are phenomenal. Mm-hmm. We'll have some of those like flash, that kind of rotate on screen a little bit. And even the Warrior cards, well, they're not that good. Look really cool. I need to stop saying but I think they look really cool, and I'm really excited to deck build with the new Prism. I think it's kind of interesting that they made Ash, the Figments, kind of do something on the front side, where Ash was just kind of there on Dragons. So, and I think they kind of made Figments a more fair version of the Spectre cards, and I'm just really excited for this set. And even Shadow looks kind of fun. I'm not typically a Shadow player, but when I play competitively, I'll just probably play whatever's good. But when I play at locals, I'll probably play what I like, which is gonna be this Prism deck. Not even close. That being said, they have also released a lot of the Warrior cards, and they're not they're not like captivating. I'll just say that. They're not exactly bad, but they're like not what the deck, either Bolton or Prism, really felt like it needed.
It's a very nice way to put it. When they say speculative on the...
It means the red. So we're looking at... we use Fabrary for looking
because
at
it's
the
yellow
cards.
and blue as well.
Yeah,
okay,
so they've released the red or whatever, but they're specking that there's also yellow and blue because it's a common. So yeah, we can talk about... Let's just talk about the Majestics for Warrior. I want to get your honest takes on Majestics for Warrior, because you used to be a Warrior aficionado.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll go up to the first one, which is a light warrior weapon. So you do have to remember this is just for Bolton. Just for good old Bolton. It's called Beaming Blade. It's a 0 attack weapon, just like Raiden is. It costs 2, which is infinitely more than Raiden, which is interesting. And
you can't even get through the card without cracking up. That's usually a sign that someone left this by the dumpster out back.
Yeah. So it's still rare, right? And Raiden is a Majestic, but it says if a yellow card has been put into your hero's soul this turn, this gets +3. So it's a 2-cost Raiden. How about that?
I'm gonna say the same thing I say about most weapons in this game. There are tried and true weapons.
Yeah.
Centauri Sabers, Raiden have, they've been the staples for Bolton. I think you always have to compare. I mean, Durinthi wouldn't use this, but every warrior weapon is like, is it better than Dawnblade? Is it more dependable than Dawnblade? And if the answer is even a slight no, I think at this point...
It's very difficult. Yeah.
What I feel for this card, and it's the same for a lot of the warrior cards, there's a very if you're going to play this, you have to lean into this sort of niche, and it's not very dependable. 2 for attack is terrible, in my opinion.
Oh, it gets +5. Sorry, I'm also kind of.
Well, yeah. If you,
it's a 5. I think I said +3 like Raiden. So.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a +5, so it is 2 for 5 as opposed to 0 for 3.
Yeah, which it hits for a bunch. I like odd damage instead of even damage. If that makes sense.
It's a break point. Gets over your Sink Belows, your Fate for Scenes. Is 0 for 4. D reacts.
But again, it's always there's that text and it says if, and I'm already like, I don't like that. I like consistency.
You would have to build around this deck, right? So it says if a yellow card has been put in your Hero's Soul, so we're assuming that most of the deck is going to be yellow. That's probably true anyway. Most light cards are yellow for flavor. So,
but I don't know. It's
all the bannerets are yellow.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, when it says if you have put a card, a card into the Hero's Soul, that already means you're now at 3 cards.
Yeah.
Which are with any weapon you're probably pitching, but I just I'd rather use Raiden or it's okay, and we'll see if someone can make something very consistent with it, but because we haven't seen all the cards.
Yeah. All right. So I want to talk about. So you just played Dory mostly back in the day. So I'm going to talk about just the warrior cards. So warrior cards that
vanilla
Dory
warrior,
can play.
okay.
So, and I want to talk about Decimator Great Axe. Because I just want to get because we know how you felt about the first axe.
Well, the first two-handed axe.
Yeah, first two-handed axe. All right, so this is Decimator Great Axe, comes in for 4 damage. Once per turn action, pay 3 attack. The first time this is defended by a non-equipment card each turn, have the base defense of the defending card rounded up.
Okay, so I understand why they did the rounding up.
You get to round up or down.
Because,
right? So.
Because if it was, the way I'm reading it is no matter what, it reduces it by 1. Because if they're blocking for 2, it's going to be 1. If it's blocking for 3, it's going to be 2.
Yeah.
Blocking for 4 seems
it'll be 2.
Weird. I don't know why you would... no one's going to have a normal block for 4. Because I don't think defense reactions work, right?
Yeah, they do. It's the
first time...
First time it's non-equipment.
Okay, so if they do a Sink Below or something, it'll cut it by 2, which is nice.
If it's the first one too, right? So if they defend with something from hand and defense step, and then defend with Sink Below, the Sink Below will be fine.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that. I don't like... This card reads to me, you better have a blue card in your hand.
Oh, yeah. And
that's already... There are definitely turns... You just can't be like, no, it's okay, I'll have a blue card every time, and I'll never block. Nope. Pass.
What I will say, if there's any time where if they ever give Warrior good on-hit effects for axes, I think that's going to be a card you have to look at.
But the first half of that was, we'll just wait till the next set. And I'm like, we have been waiting a long time.
So right. Bastion of Unity, which
very
looks fucking awesome.
Looks very Warrior of Light 14.
The gold and the blue. Straight up from the Endwalker on the Moon cinematic.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. Yep.
So Bastion of Unity has the new Unity keyword. It says when this defends together with a card from hand, this gets +1 defense until end of turn, and it has Temper. So it'll go up to 2, get a -1 counter, and then come back down. So you get to defend with it twice. It kind of gives you a warrior version of... There's a Guardian Shield that does the same thing.
No, that's garbage.
Yeah. You don't know yet. We don't.
What one-handed weapon are you using?
Axe.
One axe. I'll use Hatchet of Uselessness. No. Next.
Centauri Saber.
One saber.
Yep.
Was that your deck fizzing out when you swing with it? No, there's no good, and you're not using the dagger.
Again, I know we talk about it, and you probably hate this, but it's probably going to be really good in the future.
They need a really good one-handed sword. Are there any one-handed weapons spoiled in this set?
Not yet.
Please look forward to it. All right.
All right, last thing we're going to talk about with Flesh and Blood, because then we have one more thing we're going to talk about, just Shadowverse real quick. But Iron Song Versus, while this card is probably one of my favorite arts of the entire game, we had some back and forth on this card just a little bit. So it is a legendary warrior equipment for their arms. So it's competing with Brave Forge Bracers and has 2 block. Once per turn action, pay 1. Your next sword attack this turn gets, when this hits a hero, create a courage token, go again. And we know a courage token just basically pops and gives any attack.
Yeah, because they spoiled that.
Yeah, it gives any attack +1.
So, who's on this card?
Dory.
Who uses this card?
Probably Bolton. I think, and whether or not you agree with this strategy, honestly, I think that they are gearing up for the next like big Dory card. There is a Dorinthia that's going to use the shit out of this
That's
card.
great. When is that happening? I want to get good Dory cards before Social Security starts rolling in for me.
Yeah, like
2016 years.
I was gonna be mean and say like 4 or 5.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, I've seen the pros where people say like for Bolton and all that.
Yeah.
Why is it not block as good as Brave Forge? Why did they feel the need to?
Well, it blocks just the same, because that's temper, not battle. But the thing is, it'll break as opposed to
Brave Forge chilling.
Yeah, so Brave Forge Bracers, after you block with it twice, you still get to use the effect. Whereas this, once you block with it twice, it'll block the same amount, but it breaks on the second block. So, I don't know. I think this card is actually fundamentally better than Brave Forge Bracers.
I'm sorry. Can you just click it?
I think its effect is actually truly better than Brave Forge Bracers. I think it's more universally available. I think it gives your weapon an on-hit that they may be incentivized more to block, which then turns on reprise, which then turns on like things like that. So
yes, I think players will underestimate. They'll go, well, this does nothing this turn, so I don't have to worry about it. I'll let this hit. Whereas Brave Forge, it's immediate. A lot of players, like I said, will underestimate it, and they're just like, I can deal with the courage token next turn or something. I do like that a little better.
So, maybe I curved your enthusiasm just a little bit towards the card. I think it'll be good. All right, last thing we're going to talk about, because I don't want to get you super riled.
I think you do. I think, but which one?
That's the pure entertainment value.
Yes.
No, we're going to pivot one more time and talk about the third game we care about, Shadowverse Evolve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we have our starter deck tournament today. Later tonight. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I want to see how many people come out. I think it's going to be good. Tell me your thoughts. You're playing Dragon, I think?
Yeah, I'm playing Dragon. That was one that initially I wasn't leaning towards, although I like the aesthetic of it. Yeah. But then we tried it on TTS, and I had a lot of fun with it. I like how the hero looks. It's just very fun. Play big thing, things explode. I did never play Druid in Hearthstone.
Yep.
But I always envied the Druid players. They're just like ramping up. I'm playing a 8/8 while you're playing a 1/3.
I'm going to play a big man, and then I'm going to play a bigger man. And that makes me play an even larger man.
I did buy all the starter decks there. I'm very interested.
Did you?
I bought all of them.
I only bought 3.
Oh, well.
Hand me the dragon one.
All right.
Give me a dragon.
Yeah.
I bought Rune, Forest, and...
Was it Abyss? Or
Abyss.
okay.
Blood, Abyss, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whatever the spooky
Everyone
one
gives them names, but the name on the decks no one knows. It's like Eerie cereal box of the Dark Tempest. And you're
the thing about Abyss or
okay.
Blood or whatever it is it's Abysscraft and Bloodcraft from the game.
Oh, like merged.
So I think it was like Nightmarecraft or something. I don't know. It should be
But
fun.
I've never really played in a starter. Like everyone's got the same kind of
it'll be
cards
kind of
or something
silly.
like that?
Well, we kind of did that for Grand Archive. It was like a starter in a box.
Oh, like the pre-release thing, yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it, and I know there's a lot of people who have never played Shadowverse that are coming tonight. There's people who have been playing digital since 1955 and all that. So I guess you'll win, and then
I won't win. I'm playing Forest.
Oh, all right.
You're like, here's a fairy.
5 pixies. No, it'll be fun.
No, I'm really excited for it, and it's just another game to add to our kind of something we're going to talk about here, I'm sure. And I'm really excited for this kind of like, I don't know if it's straight up a change in direction for the show, but I think we're going to talk more and more about like stuff.
Well, everything we're into.
Yeah.
But if there's important aspects of whatever game that comes up,
I think we'll
cover it,
always be kind of Grand Archive like in that avenue.
Yeah.
But like we're not afraid to talk about, like we talked about a little bit of Flesh and Blood today, talk about a little bit of Shadowverse today, and we'll talk about whatever we want. It's our show.
What is this?
What is that? It's good. It's a Bravo specialization
Right,
called Starstruck,
stop.
and you just punch it in the face. Anyway, I think that's it for us today. I gotta head to a UPF tournament. I'm actually really excited for it. I'm playing Shiana. I'm just shape-shifting all over them.
Sounds like a lot of cheating garbage. All right. I do hope you win, though. Get that playmat. I don't know if the playmat's up for grabs today.
I have no idea. I just want to play some UPF and have some fun.
If you win, we'll give you the playmat. If you lose, we'll go, next week. That's legal.
That's it for us.
All right. Bye. Thanks for watching.
Peace. Thanks for watching.
Have a good lunch.
Have a good lunch.
Yeah.